Do you think there will be humans in this game? What do you think of the future of biomutant?
Are you talking about after the game releases?
Yeah, after the game releases.
If this game is great, I don't even know what the story's gonna be like in the first game, but I just could see a potential sequel to this game, expanding off of the world that we get to play through, or maybe like a pre-sequel, which is like the second game, but it gives a life of like what the life was before the apocalypse. I have no idea where they're headed with the sequel, but I had seen some images actually of a few years ago when the game was listed on whatever platforms you used to buy it, that the game would include space travel. So I think that this idea isn't going to make it into the first game. I could be wrong,
Yeah,
but
of
they
course.
definitely took it out of the description. And that could be what I think long term. Maybe Biomutant 1 is on land, Biomutant 2 is in space.
Yeah, that would be so cool, man. And
Yeah.
if the first game, does well, I sure hope for a sequel.
Hey, and we've seen rocket ships in the trailers already.
Yeah, but yeah,
Not pick that
those
kind,
rockets.
but
I think when you are taking over an outpost or something, there will be a rocket there, which you will use to destroy the gate or something.
oh.
Yeah, that's what I picked up from what I saw.
Yeah, that those I figured those rocket ships that we've got a glimpse of are more like they have a predetermined destination. Probably like, all right, do this rocket ship, this rocket ship. There's probably a set number of them. I don't think you get to control them.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I could be wrong.
yeah. I definitely think it's a cutscene and you don't control the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, if the game does well, I can we expect DLC maybe, story expansion and stuff?
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't really even think of that. I hope that there's DLC. I would if it's a great game, I don't mind paying for some additional DLC, especially if I'm hooked because one, it supports the creators of the game and they need money too because they put a lot of hard work into it. So,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, I would 100% buy a DLC for this game if they released one and the game was good,
Yeah,
which I
same.
do expect it to be.
Yeah, same. I mean, even if they don't put out a DLC, the game is has enough replayability value to have a long uh, fan base that will continue on playing and talking about the game.
Yeah, truly.
I mean,
That would be int I mean, you know how they mention no microtransactions? I don't know if
yeah,
they would consider a DLC a microtransaction, I doubt it, I think that's a little different
no,
ballpark.
no, I don't think DLC is considered microtransaction.
Yeah, more like Biomutant skins, which
Skins,
there's
guns,
no point
yeah,
with that in-depth character creator.
yeah, of course. It's not good to put microtransactions in a full price game.
Yeah,
I
in a
wouldn't pay
story
for
game
that.
at that.
Yeah. Would you like for it to be a split screen mode or a co-op mode?
100%. I think that would be tremendous for the game. And I brought this up in a subreddit, and the majority of the consensus was we do not want multiplayer because that's how I worded my question. Do you want multiplayer? But throughout the comments of everyone who said no, we don't want multiplayer, I think they were all thinking like team deathmatch and that kind of co-op multiplayer.
Yeah,
I don't agree with.
that's what
There were some.
multiplayer into it.
Yeah, right. That's what I should have worded the question better because throughout the answers of everyone saying no multiplayer, there were a bunch of people that were like, I don't know about multiplayer team deathmatch, but I do see some like co-op Monster Hunter kind of aspects to this game that would just fit it so well. And honestly, like I couldn't think of a better thing that they could add down the line. And with the success of Ghost of Tsushima and how they were able to do it, which I didn't know was possible to like add a co-op mode later on the game. I just it's that was something that Ghost of Tsushima did that kind of surprised me and did so well. So I think that that could be in Biomutant's future. What about you?
Yeah, definitely. And they could not do an additional like complete additional mode, but just add uh, the ability to enter in the same world and play the story together.
Yeah, both. I could see down the line, me, you, the Journey, about another a couple other of our friends just running through the Biomutant world.
Yeah, just goofing around and having fun. That would be so
Yeah.
awesome.
We each got a mechanical hand and we're going crazy.
Yeah. Oh, yo, I'm just imagining that. That would be so cool.
Four mechanical
They
hands.
need
That
to
would be
add that.
nuts.
Yeah, you see enemies flying through the map, man. They definitely need to add a co-op mode.
I I think that I think that most people would not be opposed to that at all.
Yeah, for sure. And you'd still have the ability to play on your own, but
Mhm.
yeah, and it would just add uh, to the replayability value because you can play another playthrough with a buddy.
Exactly, and I think it would even be an incentive to those who, like, aren't that big on story games, but you guys are friends and you wanna play a game together and you do enough convincing to, like, show him or convince him to get the game, and then you can show him all the ropes and, like, I love that kinda thing.
Yeah.
I could go on and on about what I want this game to have. Like, I was just thinking, like, a freaking raid or a dungeon, but I'm going
Oh,
too in depth.
yeah, that would be cool. But the game is really good right now. I really think it's
Yeah,
gonna do well.
me too.
Yeah. Do you think it can get Game of the Year?
I definitely think it could get Game of the Year. Um, given I think I could be mistaken, but wasn't Ghost of Tsushima a Game of the Year?
No, Last of Us Part 2 took that.
Oh, okay. Last of Us Part Two. Well, that's a right there. That's an example of a story game that gets Game of the Year, and I guess that's more common for the story games to get Game of the Year versus
Yeah,
like a Call of Duty or something. So I definitely think that they could do it, especially given they could get some bonus points for being a small team and having such an in-depth game. Like I really do think that they could at least be a candidate for it.
yeah, but it has some strong competition like Resident Evil 8,
Mm,
Returnal, Horizon Zero Dawn
mm,
2, maybe even God of War 2.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
that
gonna
is
be
true.
yeah, it's gonna be really difficult, but it has the potential.
It does, and if anything, if as long as it's great, I'm happy. It doesn't need to be game of the year for me to be
Yeah,
happy.
same. Just out of curiosity, what is the last game you were excited about to launch?
So, and this is a truthful answer and one that I'm halfway ashamed to admit. The last game I was excited for was Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh
I ended
shit.
up dude, I was really late to the hype train for that game, but I ended up like getting so hyped about it, like beyond like it was an overflow. Like I had no doubt that it was gonna be the best game like in existence.
Yeah,
And so
everyone
I
thought that.
yeah, everyone did. And the way that they were hyping it up was like attributing to why everyone thought that. And I that's the difference between how Biomutant is presenting their game is they're not presenting it as the best game to ever exist and the most you can do. It's more like this is our game, this is what's in our game, and we're not trying to hide it from you. Like, but that fact alone, given that I was so hyped about that game and then let down, um, is why some of my friends, when I talk to them about this game, I'm like, hey, I'm really excited about this game. Like, dude, are you sure this isn't going to be the next Cyberpunk? And I'm like,
Yeah.
I just don't see it given I think there's a big difference between how they're presenting this game versus how Cyberpunk was being presented.
Yeah, the gaming industry definitely learned a lesson from Cyberpunk's mistakes.
Yeah, that's very true. Like it was kind of they took one for the team and like who not to be. Not that it
Yeah,
wasn't like I mean, I'm sure they worked their hearts off for this game, but it just I think that they bit off more than they can chew, that's all. And it was probably needed a little bit more time.
yeah. For me, the last game I was excited about was The Last of Us Part 2.
Oh, that's it. Me too. I was definitely excited for that.
Yeah, but I didn't end up buying it. I I happened
Mhm.
I happened to see a post on the internet that's like I was avoiding the leaks at the time, but I happened to see
Yeah.
a post so infuriating that I just
Oh.
decided to go see the leaks. And after that, I never touched the game. It was the
Dude,
disappointment of my life, man.
I literally am cringing listening to that story because I avoided all the leaks. Every morsel of a leak, I didn't look at it. Like, I just kept away, and I expected greatness. And I'm not gonna. I mean, it won Game of the
Yeah,
Year. It
I mean
had
it's Naughty Dog.
some people's favorite game, but story wise, it wasn't the direction I was hoping it was gonna head.
Yeah, the story was awful. I mean, it has some good story beats, but the whole playing as Abby section was horrible.
Dude, I know. I'm like, I fell in love with the first game for one simple reason: the connection between Joel and Ellie.
Yeah,
That's not I don't buy the second game to play as someone completely different. It was like they could have called it something different if like that's the game we're getting, you know?
yeah, and you're playing as the one who killed Joel and caused Ellie the pain, all this pain.
Dude,
It
can we
sucks.
change the subject, please?
Yeah, for sure. but but I was so upset because the gameplay looked awesome, man,
Yeah.
and I like so much zombie games and resource management uh, aspect of it that I was so bummed down
Mhm.
that I wasn't even able to play it, and
Oh,
the
yeah.
story was awful. Man.
I gotta agree.
Man, I was thinking like how awesome would it be if they did a battle royale uh, with The Last of Us 2 mechanics.
I thought of that same thing, like, the exact same thing. I'm like, this because it was right in the hype of all these battle royales coming out. I think Hyperspace had just came out, and Fortnite was on its peak, and there was just a lot of other games that were like it could have done very well as battle
Yeah,
royale,
I
and
wanted that so much.
I still have a little bit of faith in it if they do release some sort of multiplayer mode, but if not, I'm gonna just close my eyes and pretend it never happened.
Yeah, yeah. Let's get back to Biomutant and not cry.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. Have you noticed that small green mantis robot? What do you think it is?
Yeah, okay, that's, I love that question because he has not got much of the limelight. He's been pretty much avoided
In the background,
in
yeah.
all of Yeah, he's been avoided in all the gameplay trailers, completely everything. I really don't know what his purpose is. Maybe his purpose is minor, maybe it's major and they don't wanna show it, but I have heard one thing that he would if you kinda Google, like, who is the green, grasshopper in Biomutant, it'll tell you that he sorta, like, points you towards unique, moments or maybe, like, a cool, like, thing, like, "Hey, come over here and, like, check this out." I think that's gonna
Yeah,
be his main role.
yeah, maybe for sure. But and maybe he can help you like scan the area or
Yeah,
and look for supplies. Maybe I don't know.
I believe that's pretty much what his purpose will be from right now.
Yeah,
I could be wrong, maybe he has a huge purpose.
yeah. Let's hope for that.
I
I
wonder if you
think.
can customize his appearance.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know about that, but that'd be so cool.
Maybe like, not like from the beginning, but like maybe you pick up like a mantis skin, like kinda like in, Star Wars Fallen Order, how you can give BD. a different color, maybe you'll like pick up a skin
Yeah,
for this little guy.
yeah. Let's hope that. And I mean, there's a lot of customization that it's definitely expectable for that to happen.
Right. Right. Good point.
Hey, Carson, do you know that
What's
most people watching us right now aren't subscribed to us?
Are you serious? Nobody subscribed?
Yeah, dude. Uh, and for anyone who's wondering how to subscribe, here I'll show you.
Yeah, show them how, man. It's really not that hard.
Yeah. What? You still don't know how to subscribe? If you search on YouTube, you'll get a ton of videos telling you exactly how to subscribe, step by step.
Exactly.
You still don't know how to subscribe? Maybe I overdid it, man.
Yeah, I think you might have overdid it, Voltix.
But it was funny, no?
Not
Oh,
really.
but I tried.
You did try.
Yeah, I think the guys have our backs.
I think they do too. We got a good community.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
So, Volt, I have a question for you. Do you
Yeah,
think that, or tell me what you think about the vendors in Biomutant? What are they? What kind of vendors are there going to be? What kind of stuff can you expect to buy from them? And
I
what kind of role do you think they're going to play?
I think the vendors will mostly be like a place to buy boosts, maybe even bullets, um, weapons, and everything.
Yeah, I heard so the bullets thing, I heard that they're kind of straying away from like bullet types. It's going to be more bullets in general. Which what do you feel about that? Are you glad that they're sticking with just like, oh, you have bullets or oh, you don't have bullets? Or would you rather they had, okay, now you have this many AR bullets, this many shotgun bullets, this many pistol
Uh,
bullets? What do you
and
think about that
yeah,
decision?
I think they took the right decision because it's foremost a kung fu game and a fun game, which you are gonna go and kill monsters and stuff. So I don't think limiting yourself to a limited amount of ammo would uh, would be fun. So they're gonna remove that entirely, I think. Uh,
Yeah.
and you're gonna find a lot of bullets from looting, and you can buy also bullets, of course. So you won't be having any bullets shortage.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely think that I wonder if they're gonna be scarce with bullets, or you're gonna have to make a like, or they're gonna find them all around, or if you're gonna have to make a trip to the vendor here and there just to restock.
Yeah,
It would be nice.
yeah, that's how it's gonna be really. Like getting some bullets from looting and buying from the vendor.
Yeah, you think it's gonna be a good mix of both?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think we're gonna be paying with? If you had to take any
Um.
guess.
Hmm, Scraps maybe, balls and
Scraps,
stuff.
yeah. I could see that.
Yeah,
I could
or
see that.
soda caps like in Fallout.
Ah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that they could definitely do that.
That's actually a that's probably gonna be accurate to what they're gonna have some sort of, like, witty, unique
Yeah, and I mean
method of
it's a
currency.
post-apocalyptic game, so of
Mm,
course the currency is not gonna be something flashy and made up. It's
right.
gonna be something that you can get from the world.
Yeah, right. Probably something more material that can be forged into a sword, maybe.
Yeah,
That's what yeah, I think the guesses you just gave were, like, really good. Either scraps or something bullet like bottle caps or something that they turned into, like, the world currency.
yeah, I think so. It's gonna be that way. I was
Now
watching what?
sorry? Sorry, say that again.
I was watching your video, and you made a good point about this choo-choo truck guy or something that he was
Mhm.
fixing a car. Do you think that that will be rideable?
So that's so funny you asked that. I was just about to ask you, do you think there's going to be cars in Biomutant? Literally, that's what I was going to ask. But what I think that the choo choo guy is going to do is, I think he's going to be kind of either a fast travel mode. He's going to go to the train station
Yeah,
and kind of fast travel, or you can go to the train station and just take a like either control the train or just be a passenger, and you might have to watch the cutscene, but I assume that they'll let you skip the cutscene. And I don't know how many railroads they're going to be, but I do like, what other reason is this choo choo guy going to be there besides giving you something that some sort of mobility with wheels?
yeah, that's a really good guess.
Right, like he's kind of like a portal for fast, go to the nearest choo choo for fast traveling.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, on your question, I don't think there will be cars in the game, and I
Right.
don't think they need to have cars. There is a lot of interesting vehicles and stuff and methods of
Yeah.
transportation that cars would just be boring and inefficient in this world.
Yeah, I 100% agree because you're traversing a lot of different biomes, and so I believe something that has more mobility, like a horse.
Yeah, horse,
Not to say that a horse is
moose.
better than a car, but I think it has its pros and cons, and probably more
Yeah,
pros in this
maybe
world.
if you are the car, they're gonna have a fuel system or something like Days Gone.
Oh, I love when games do that.
Yeah, Days Gone was really unique in that aspect. Customizing your motorcycle and stuff was really fun.
I also picked up on another question that, well, it sparked in my mind when I was watching one of the original trailers. It was, there was like sort of, you know how you've seen the blue like antlered creature that you can ride? There's like the weird like elephant horse thing that you can ride. All these different like four-legged mounts.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if you can sort of like Red Dead Redemption, like tame a wild one and get it as a mount, or if it's gonna be more like gifts
Mm,
or like purchased mounts.
yeah,
Any idea?
I don't know about that, but what we've seen in one shot of the trailer is like a bunch of mounts or animals around the lake.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's exactly what I'm talking about.
yeah, yeah. So taming one of them could be a feature in the game, which is definitely interesting if that would be the case.
Yeah, that was really like the first thing that popped into my mind. I'm like, okay, these creatures don't look mean, they don't look bad. They look like you could go and jump right on their back and attempt to tame them, and
Yeah,
maybe
feed
like
them
level
maybe.
them up too. Yeah, feed them, give them some biomutant chips.
Yeah, yeah, of course. And yeah, maybe one of the merchants also maybe he'll sell one to you or something.
Right, right. It could very well be that way about it. But man, I am impressed with all the different kind of mounts that we've seen. I love like abundance of things to ride.
Yeah, the variety in transportations is overwhelming almost.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah,
great.
like what am I gonna ride next or what am I gonna use next?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I wonder. I'm assuming that they'll each have their own kind of stats. Like, okay, this beast is very fast but has little armor. This beast has a ton of armor but it's slow. That kind of thing. I wonder, or if they're like, the more you ride it, the better it gets. That
Yeah,
could be it too.
yeah,
I don't know.
that's a good guess. Yeah, maybe. It could be it could very well be the case.
So another thing I picked up on was like your back. The character is almost like, I've seen various backpacks on characters, and I would be really happy to see like this backpack is like has this much storage space and it looks this way, and
Yeah,
then you can get a better backpack that looks this way and has even more storage space, or you can get like a little backpack that has like no storage space, but it doesn't slow you down as much. If they had that, I would be so happy for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I've gotten to backpacking this year.
Yeah, yeah, and maybe like a weight system where you can't carry uh,
Ooh,
heavy.
yeah.
Yeah, it's mass limited.
And honestly, these ideas may seem a little bit far fetched, right? Like the more because we're just talking about all these different things that we want the game to have. But if we just get back to the simple fact that this is an RPG and it's developed by a crew that has played RPGs in the past, they thought of this game originally to be like a Diablo kind of thing. I think that it could very well contain a lot of these little RPG elements that we're talking about.
Yeah, for sure. I have an interesting question. Do you think there will be humans in this game?
Uh, I gotta say no. Maybe one, but like I just don't think so. I think that all the humans or the all the characters we've seen have like humanoid uh traits.
Great, yeah.
Um, but I just don't see that they will actually have humans in this game. And like it'd be so weird to see one, but it would be cool, honestly.
Yeah, it would be shocking because we haven't seen anyone in the trailers, and maybe it also it could remove some of the appeal to the game.
Right, right, right. Like, give me a like I've played as a human a million times. I want to play as a cool biomutant.
Cool, yeah,
What
cool
about
looking
maybe
cat.
they incorporate humans into like the pre-apocalyptic like trail like maybe once you load the game you like see the world inhabited by all these humans and then something happens where all the humans get wiped out and like I guess the biomutants develop humanoid traits after thousands of years. Maybe we get a glimpse of the
Or
life where there was humans.
maybe humans have created the mutants through experiments or
Ooh.
something. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be cool. But
That would be really
but
cool.
honestly, I kind of don't think that uh, that we're gonna see any form of human in this game. It's gonna be like
Yeah, me
straight
neither.
like only animals like Kung Fu Panda and no signs of humans at all.
Right, right. It may just be too odd to see a human incorporated inside of this game after everything we've seen with all these animals, like Wiz Tinker Tonker and all these other guys.
Yeah,
I just can't even picture what they would make a human look like in this game.
yeah, definitely. There's so much merchants and NPCs also. They showed us
Yeah.
a lot of NPCs in the trailer. I kind of wonder if there's more.
Oh, I 100% think there's more. I think that these guys have gone like off the rails with creating NPCs for us to discover, and I think that's why they're willing to show us so many. Is because there's a lot that we just haven't seen. They're trying to just show us this abundance of characters. Like maybe they're as simple as just a little guy off to the side of the road that wants to do or wants to give you a quest, and
Yeah,
we don't get to see what he looks like, but he still has a name and a purpose.
yeah. One thing I heard, I don't know where, is that there won't be any fetch quests. What do you think of that?
I love that idea. I believe that.
Yeah, but
So I think that's the better choice for them.
yeah, but I don't think there will be any kind of those missions, and more like maybe uh, side stories like in Ghost of Tsushima, which is the better way to do side missions, really.
Yeah, 100%. And that's interesting. So we've brought up Ghost of Tsushima twice now, and if that's the case and they kind of took inspiration from that game, then who's to say that their mind's not like, okay, like we're gonna release the single player, but if it gets enough hype and popularity, we're totally gonna add some multiplayer to it, just like Ghost of Tsushima. So I think they are taking aspects from great games and trying to incorporate them all into this one game.
Yeah, hopefully the game will have some. longevity to it, which is
Yes,
the
I
best for
agree.
all of us.
Right. Like I want this game to have enough replayability that I can just play the heck out of it and keep
Yeah,
finding more and more things down the months down the line.
yeah, me too.
Because it's not like I've never really been the type to well, I a few games, but nothing like story-wise besides maybe Last of Us where I really dove into every aspect of the game and I'm looking at every nook and cranny trying to find every little secret. Uncharted games were good at doing that too, where they kinda give you a reason to look for like, look in this back corner because you might find a hidden piece of treasure that has some meaning behind it, like, I think that, I'm ready
Yeah,
for a game to really wrap me into its world and
yeah, but
keep me
for
exploring.
those games, uh, the games were linear, which is easier for you to
Yes, true.
explore and find hidden treasures and notes or something. But here it's more of an open world. But I definitely think that they had a lot of stuff in the open world, which will give you an incentive to explore. And I mean, the map is
Right.
not that big. Also, it's 8 by 8.
Yeah, right. It's not too big, but I think that that's not a bad
Bad.
choice per se. It's
Yeah,
not something that's like, "Oh, I wish it was a bigger map," because like, I'm glad that if this is their I hope this is their way of thinking, "Let's keep it short, let's keep it small, but let's keep it interesting."
yeah. I think that was their thought process too.
Yeah.
Okay, Carson, where can people find you?
If you want to hear more about the content that I'm making, I have a YouTube channel under the name Carson Lee. It's spelled C4RSONLEE. You can also find me on Twitter, Instagram, and if you want to hear more about Biomutant, I've been posting videos every Wednesday around 3 o'clock p.m.
Yeah, definitely check him out, guys. He's doing interesting videos.
Thank you
and
so much.
and both of us will be continuing to cover the game when it releases, and we'll definitely try to pump out more of these kind of videos before the game drops out. So
Yes, Volt, and I appreciate you again for having me on. It's always a pleasure to make these
yeah, my
videos with
pleasure,
you,
man.
and I'm looking forward to the next one. If you want to keep this up, definitely let me know.
Yeah, same.
And
Maybe you can get an additional person to join us.
yes, that's what I was thinking. If anyone's interested in joining, let Volter I know, and we can throw you into our next
Yeah,
conversation.
stay tuned, guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, definitely check out our first discussion where we talked about everything that interested us in the game and much more.